questions for the entire panel. I know that Senator Toomey had a question about capitalism versus stakeholder capitalism, and I'd add to that woke capitalism that seems to be running amok throughout the financial institutions of our country. It seems like you all are very comfortable picking winners and losers, specifically those who signed the letter in opposition to Georgia. That would be Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs, picking winners and losers in certain areas, especially in election law. I just want to understand your position on that very important law, because I, as a Southerner and African American who's voted in the South all my life, would hate any form of discrimination, anything that restricts voting rights. What part of the Georgia law restricted voting rights or was discriminatory? Any before they signed the letter?
Senator Scott, our company signed that letter based on the input from our ESG committee and our teammates about how they felt when the law came in. In our view, as a company, we believe that there ought to be a concerted effort to get to status standards that we can all agree to, because all of us, and including what you just said, is the access for people who are eligible to vote is paramount to having a great democracy. So it came out of our teammates, like we make a lot of these decisions, expressing grave concern. And so
let me just because I understood what you said, Mr. Monahan, and I appreciate your comments, but my question is, what part of the law was discriminatory? What part of the law restricted? If you're actually increasing the number of days of early voting, if you're actually codifying a law, drop boxes that were not a part of the law, if you are actually making it easier to vote but harder to cheat, what part of that law was discriminatory or restricted access? I've been studying the law, and that's one of the reasons why I asked that question, because from my perspective, and frankly, from the words on the paper, 20-pound paper, maybe not worth much, but those words are very powerful. It did not prevent anyone from voting, and frankly, it made it easier to vote earlier. And I just am dumbfounded by what the answer to the question was. Yes, we support capitalism, but the stakeholder capitalism or the woke capitalism seems to be running amok. And I say that because I can't find anyone who will answer the question, specifically giving me any examples or specific provisions of the law that we don't support. But at the same time, we will discriminate, it seems, against industries that we don't like. And that's where that stakeholder capitalism comes into play, because banks benefit from a number of explicit and implicit government protections and subsidies, all backed by US taxpayers. So if it is legal and constitutionally protected, the Second Amendment, why would you refuse to bank companies that are in the industry? That I don't fully understand. So it seems like picking winners and losers in companies, and you're diving into choosing which laws you want to uphold and which laws you find offensive, but you can't articulate a position on why those things are offensive. It just seems confusing to me that one would say, I support capitalism, but I'm doing these things that are inconsistent with the statement that I support capitalism, and then I cannot articulate a single reason why I would not support, why I oppose the law in Georgia, or why I oppose funding or financing the oil industry or manufacturers of guns. I just find it to be disheartening as a former member of some of the institutions, as an account holder and a member of others, why it is that you all have taken such a strong, clear position, but can't or won't articulate the reason for that position. Well, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for the time, and have a good day.